Hello, I'm Kyle Persaud of the Persaud Law Office. Every year, I publish a list of some of the most important new laws that the Oklahoma Legislature has passed in the year. Here is my list of a selected 29 of the most important laws passed in 2024. Many of these laws will take effect on November 1st. A few of them have already taken effect. Senate Bill 1756 relates to supervised visitation in child custody cases. Before approving a third party volunteer for supervised visitation, the court must make a written determination of the fitness of the volunteer. This may include OSBI background checks, an affidavit from the volunteer, or testimony by the potential volunteer or other witness deemed necessary by the court. The volunteer must see and hear all interactions between the parent and the child. If the supervised parent has exhibited suicidal or violent behavior, supervised visitation must occur in a professional setting. Senate Bill 1756 also says that it shall be a rebuttable presumption that a person should not have custody of a child if the person has had custody, guardianship, or visitation rights terminated due to failure to participate in court-ordered substance abuse or mental health treatment. House Bill 3727 requires each school district and charter school to teach cursive handwriting to students in 3rd through 5th grade. I know that's been a big issue about teaching cursive. House Bill 3958 says that if school personnel at a public or charter school have any electronic or digital communication with an individual student, they must include the student's parent or guardian in the communication. There is an exception if the communication is on a school-approved platform and related to school and academic communications. There is also an exception for emergencies, provided that the parent or guardian is notified of the communication later. House Bill 1955 eliminates state sales taxes on retail sales of food and food ingredients. City and county sales taxes on food and food ingredients will still be in effect. House Bill 3571 says that businesses that sell alcohol don't have to check a buyer's ID. However, they can check a buyer's ID if they want to, and they still can't sell alcohol to persons under 21. Senate Bill 2035 allows for temporary license plates on vehicles sold in the state so that no one will have to drive without a license plate. House Bill 4050 allows institutions of higher education to grant religious degrees even if they are not accredited, so long as a religious modifier is on the transcript and wherever the title of the degree appears in school publications. That's been a big controversy with religious freedom advocates, and it was the subject of a court case. House Bill 4156 makes it a crime for an illegal immigrant to enter and remain in Oklahoma. Anyone who violates this law may be punished by up to a year in jail and or a fine of up to $500. Anyone who is convicted under this law must leave the state within 72 hours of his conviction or is released from custody, whichever is later. A second and subsequent offense is punishable by up to 2 years in prison or a fine of up to $1,000. And on June 28, 2024, a federal judge blocked Oklahoma from enforcing this law pending further proceedings. So the law is still on the books. It's just temporarily unenforceable. House Bill 1854 makes it a misdemeanor to stay overnight on public lands. However, on the first offense, the arresting officer may only issue a warning, and the officer may not issue a citation unless the person refuses the officer's offer of assistance. Senate Bill 1211 raises the maximum fine for domestic abuse by strangulation from $3,000 to $20,000, also increases the maximum prison time a person can spend and for domestic abuse by strangulation. The previous penalty was a minimum of 1 year and a maximum of 3 years. This law raises the penalty to a minimum of 1 year and a maximum of 10 years. Senate Bill 1701 allows a parent to name someone as standby guardian for his or her children if the parent becomes unavailable to military deployment, court proceeding, incapacity, or other matter. If the parent is not named a standby guardian, a person may petition to be appointed as standby guardian if the parent is unavailable. House Bill 3782 says if a person was released on bond and while free on bond is arrested and charged for a violent crime, there shall be a rebuttable presumption that he is not to be released on bail again. Senate Bill 1985 allows a school district to enter into an agreement with a church for the school district to use the church's property. House Bill 3778 allows users to provide, in a power of attorney, will, or trust, that another person may access the person's digital assets and electronic communications. It also requires companies that store digital assets and electronic communications to provide these assets to the person designated. Also requires corporations to provide digital assets and electronic communications to guardians, trustees, personal representatives, and attorneys in fact under certain circumstances. Senate Bill 1307 allows adults between the ages of 21 and 26 who have not completed high school and were unable to complete a high school before age 21 to attend school. House Bill 2478 says if a party in a custody case alleges domestic abuse, the court must hold a custody hearing within 10 days. Senate Bill 556 makes it a misdemeanor for a notary public to notarize a document without making in good faith a determination of the signer's identity. Violation is punishable by up to a fine of $1,000 and or up to 10 days in jail. Senate Bill 1593 allows convicted felons to act as executors and administrators of estates if the court believes they are competent to perform the duties of executors. House Bill 3105 subjects power sports vehicles to state motor vehicle regulations. House Bill 4069 makes it a penalty to falsely make, clone, or alter a magnetic stripe capable of storing data on a credit card. House Bill 2158 requires students to complete courses in personal financial literacy in order to graduate from a public high school. House Bill 3959 grants rebates to any Oklahoma sports team that is part of Major League Baseball, the National Football League, the National Association, the National Hockey League, or Major League Soccer. House Bill 4148 says that if a creditor or debt collector files a lawsuit to collect medical debt, the creditor must file certain information relating to the debt. The creditor must also file proof of compliance with hospital price transparency laws. Senate Bill 468 allows persons to create estate planning documents, including wills, electronically. Senate Bill 473 creates a task force to study creating a business court system in Oklahoma. House Bill 1425 requires school districts to adopt a release time policy where students may be released to attend religious or moral instructions. Senate Bill 426 says the World Health Organization, the United Nations, and the World Economic Forum have no jurisdiction in Oklahoma. No government in Oklahoma shall be subject to or required to obey a mandate of the World Health Organization, the UN, or the World Economic Forum, and any mandates issued by the World Health Organization, the UN, or the World Economic Forum shall have no effect in the state. Senate Bill 1994 allows a property owner or his agent to remove any person unlawfully occupying the property. House Bill 1795 allows children of Oklahoma peace officers, firefighters, and emergency medical technicians who have died in the line of duty to attend state universities and career tech schools for free. That's some of the most important laws that were passed in 2024 in Oklahoma. There are, of course, many other laws. And if you have a question about how recently passed laws may affect you, feel free to call the Persaud Law Office. We do endeavor to keep abreast of the law, and we can inform you if a certain recently affected law affects you. Thank you very much.